Hi and welcome to the Booklab. I'm Björn and it's that time of the month when we look at the upcoming releases, and this time it's for October, and it's a powerful list because we have books about legendary scientists, legendary game development studios, and mindset books for how to survive the cold, the dark, and the overwhelmingly stressful. And Malcolm Gladwell, he's back with a new book, so let's jump right into it. It's October or Booktober, you can say that if you're a freaking nerd. And I've been looking through all the releases that is coming up. It's quite a lot of books. You notice that it's time for autumn, it's getting into winter, it's time to read more books. There's a lot of things coming out. I found a few ones that I want to highlight for you today, and we just start off right away with Malcolm Gladwell's new book, Revenge of the Tipping Point: Overstories, Super Spreaders, and the Rise of Social Engineering. This book is 368 pages and it's out on October 1st, which I've already passed because I was a little bit late to recording this one. I hope that won't happen again. Michael Gladwell returns for the first time in 25 years to the subject of social epidemics and tipping points, this time with the aim of explaining the dark side of contagious phenomena. I have read Malcolm Gladwell before. Actually, he's one of the reasons that I read nonfiction books, because one of the first books that I started to read for myself after when I was in my 20s, I think, was Outliers. I know I read it on a bus trip. I was going to my grandmother's funeral and I read that book all the way, and I guess from there on I've been reading for almost 2 decades now since then. I also have The Tipping Point, which just seems to be a sequel to How Little Things Can Make a Big Difference. I haven't read it yet, and I'm going to tell you, I found this book at the recycling station. They had like this big container just for books, and right there on the top there was this book, and I was like, hey, that's on my reading list. I might as well just take it. So let me know if that is disgusting or something. It probably is, but I haven't read it yet. So what does the tipping point mean? Well, these books, they explore how social phenomena that spread super rapidly through the population. It could be ideas, messages, products, behaviors, often reaches a critical point where they become unstoppable, and he calls that the tipping point. So what is this new book about? Through a series of riveting stories, Gladwell traces the rise of a new and troubling form of social engineering. He takes us to the streets of Los Angeles to meet the most successful bank robbers, rediscovers a forgotten television show from the 70s that changed the world, visits the site of a historic experiment of a tiny cul-de-sac in North California, and offers an alternative history of two of the biggest epidemics of our day, COVID-19 and the opium crisis. This is supposed to be Gladwell's most personal book yet, and as usual, it's covered with interesting stories mixed with science. It's probably a quite enjoyable book, and I like the promise of seeing the dark side of contagious phenomena. But we have more books to go through. Book number 2, The Elements of Marie Curie, How the Glow of Radium Lit a Path for Women in Science, by Dava Sobel, and it's out on October 8th. There's a fly here on my face, which also is disgusting. Maybe it's because I have books from trash cans over here. It's 336 pages. Quote, "Even now, nearly a century after her death, Marie Curie remains the only female scientist that most people can name. I can name her, you probably can name her, I can't pronounce her name, but that's a separate issue. The author is known for her memorable and radiant biographies. She wrote another book that came out quite recently, I think, that is called Galileo's Daughter. There's seriously a fly in my face when I do this. Well, the production values can only go up from here. The reason I want to read this book is because I want to learn more about the women that really made a dent in science. I know her name, but I don't know her full story. This book is on my to-read list. Book number 3, Never Play It Safe, A Practical Guide to Freedom, Creativity, and the Life You Love. The book is by Jarvis. It's out on October 8th and it's 256 pages long. Your life is the ultimate creative act. Don't settle for safety. So this is a personal development book about creativity and creative living, and it feels like I've been playing it safe for a while. If I compare this year with like 22, 23, it feels like I've been kind of hibernating for about 12 months, and I'm ready to take things to the next level and challenge myself again. And that is why this book really piqued my interest. Inside you will discover why playing it safe is the riskiest move you can make, how to break free from the toxic voices in your head that hold you back, the surprising link between being playful and top performance, and practical techniques for training your attention and unlocking your potential. And you also get stories from world leaders within different fields. So this could be a boost if you feel kind of stuck in life or ready for your next big leap, or doing something new and creative. And that's usually quite frightening as well. So it's nice to have a little bit of a boost. If you're tired of playing small, feel stuck, living in fear, it's time to reclaim the playful and courageous part of you that wants to shine. Never Play It Safe will equip you with the tools, insights, and inspiration to take bold action and create your life, the life of your dream. Oh, reading through this, it feels like something that other people have written about. It doesn't feel very new and fresh, but I'm ready for a book like this, and this is one I might check out. We have book number 4, Meditations for Mortals. 4 weeks to embrace your limitations and make time for what counts by Oliver Burkeman. I recently reviewed his previous book on the channel, 4,000 Weeks Time Management for Mortals. This is a book that people in the book community have been raving about, so I picked it up quite long after it was released. I read it and enjoyed it, but I noticed now, when some time has passed, that it was kind of forgettable, and if you would quiz me on this book, I would probably not remember that much. So why is this book on the list anyway? This one actually sounded like it had a more interesting premise than the first book. So it's by Oliver Burkeman. It's out on October 8th. Every book seems to be out then. I forgot to write up the number of pages, but it's probably 256 to 329. Let me know if I was right or wrong in the comments. A map for a liberating journey towards a more meaningful life. A journey that begins where we actually find ourselves, not with a fantasy or where we like to be. The book promises a powerful new way to take action on what really matters in our life. The philosophy that Oliver Burkeman presents in this book, he's calling it imperfectionism. It helps us tackle challenges as they crop up in our daily life, our finite time here on earth, the lure of constant distractions, and the impossibility of doing anything perfectly. Quote, how can we embrace our non-negotiable limitations or make good decisions when there's always too much to do? How do we shed light on the illusions that life will really begin as soon as we get on top of everything? Reflecting on quotations from philosophy, religion, literature, psychology, and self-help, Burkeman explores a combination of practical tools and daily shifts in perspective. The result is life-enhancing and quite surprising. So that's the new Oliver Burkeman book, and now it's a book for us here who live here up north. How to Winter, Harness the Mindset to Thrive in Cold, Dark and Difficult Days by Kate Leibovitz, PhD. Oh, it's out on October 22nd. It's 304 pages. Quote, a blend of mindset science, original research and cultural insights for cultivating a positive wintertime mindset to vanquish winter blues and find joy and comfort in dark times year round. I'm from Sweden, and up here in the north we have to deal with long winters. The nights are slowly getting longer and longer, more hours of darkness each day, and even though I'm not that sensitive to it because a lot of my hobbies are pretty attuned with the kind of climate we have here. I like reading, I like working on projects, developing video games, all of that works well in the winter. That said, the dark periods of the year, like the winter, feels like it's almost 6 months with constant darkness. It takes a toll on you eventually. When I take the kids to school, it's dark. When I get home from work, it's pitch black. This is a book that can help me fortify and prepare for winter, because winter is coming. Kari Leibovitz moved to above the Arctic Circle, where the sun doesn't rise for 2 months each winter. That's pretty crazy. Expecting to research the season's negative effects on mental health, only to find that the inhabitants actually looked forward to it with delight and enthusiasm. Leibovitz has since traveled to places on Earth with some of the coldest, darkest and longest and most intense winters, and discovered the power of wintertime mindset. Viewing the season as full of opportunity and wonder, impactful strategies for cultivating this wintertime mindset can teach us not only just about braving the grey, cold months of the years, but also the darker and more difficult seasons of life. So this book has histories from communities that live in the darkest, coldest, roughest part of the earth, and we will get the lessons for how they thrive in those areas. And please let me know in the comment if we have any people that live in such environments as well. Where are you from? Say hi in the comments. I'd love to interact with all of you. So this book promises to be full of stories, and it blends it with psychology and behavioral science research. So this is a book that I want to read this winter. And now for a kind of a joker book. Play Nice, The Rise and Fall and the Future of Blizzard Entertainment. I don't know if I have any gamers in the audience, but to me, Blizzard is a company that was close to my heart. I love playing Warcraft, Starcraft, Diablo, all of that as I grow up. And this book is from Jason Schreier. It's out on October 8th, and it's 384 pages. Quote, from a New York Times best-selling author and investigative journalist comes The Social Network for the Video Game Industry, a riveting examination of Blizzard Entertainment's rise and shocking downfall. This is the story of what happens when ruthless pursuit of profits meets artistic idealism. I'm a video game developer myself, and this is why this book is on my list this week. And I also read a similar book, or another book, about a video game company called id Software. They made Doom back in the days. The book was called Masters of Doom, and that book was just one hell of a ride. It was a fantastic book, so I felt like this could be something similar that I really would like to read. For video game fans, the name Blizzard Entertainment was once synonymous with perfection. After huge successes like StarCraft and World of Warcraft, Activision, another company, a publisher, they began invading Blizzard's from the inside. Glitchy product, PR disasters, mass layoffs, and a staggering lawsuit marred the company's reputation and led to its ultimate reckoning. Based on first-hand interviews with more than 300 current and former employees, Play Nice chronicles the creativity, frustration, beauty, and betrayal across the 33-year epic saga of Blizzard Entertainment, showing us what it really means to bleed Blizzard blue. So this feels like kind of a video game version of The Office, or maybe something more dramatic, but whatever. I want to read this. I hope you do too. And that's the list for this week. That was all the books. Let me know in the comments which one of these you would like to read. And now I need to pick a pick of the week. And I have to say, it was not super easy this month. There was a tons of great books, a lot of books that I didn't even talk about. But there was really no one that I felt like, I want to jump on this one right away. So out of this list, I would like to pick, yes, How to Winter, Harness Your Mindset to Thrive in the Cold, Dark, and Difficult Days. So that's probably not your pick, I don't know, but for me it feels perfect. It's really starting to get cold here in Sweden. The sun has been setting throughout this video, and yeah, winter is coming and I want to prepare. I'm back next week with more book reviews. I'm just finished The Fourth Turning, and I just started to read How the Other Half Lives. So expect video reviews of those books the coming weeks. Have a great week and happy reading. See you soon. Björn out. Bye bye.